Welcome everyone to Cinema Regulars, the movie review show where we see so many movies in theaters that the employees know us by name and they don't ask us what movies we're seeing, they ask us how many. Now today we have a triple horror podcast for you guys. We got 3 brand new horror films straight fresh from the theater. We will be starting off with the brand new I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot or continuation, however you want to look at it. We will then be looking into the new movie starring Pete Davidson as the lead role, The Home. And then we'll be wrapping up with the long awaited Together. We've been super excited for the past 6 months, even more maybe, to see this movie. It's been on our
radar.
Yeah, it's been very, very closely watched by us and very anticipated, so fun to tear into that later.
Yes.
As always, guys, be sure to subscribe because that really helps out the channel. And be sure to use the timestamps in the description below to jump around to your favorite movie or just jump straight to the rankings if that's all you care about. So without further ado, let's head on into our first movie of the night, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Isaac, take us away, please.
When 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. 1 year later, the past comes back to haunt them as they learn someone knows what they did last summer. Stalked by a mysterious killer, they soon seek help from 2 survivors of the legendary Southport massacre of 1997. As if to imply there was more than 2 survivors of that massacre.
Yeah. Well, there weren't.
There wasn't. No.
So I first want to premise that a few days, if not the direct night before, Isaac and I did watch the first 2 I Know What You Did Last Summers because, let's be honest, nobody wants to watch the third one.
I'm so happy we didn't. I'm really happy you couldn't find your trilogy, so we didn't watch it.
Yeah, because the site we
could
were
only
using
find
didn't
the first
have
2.
the third one. So oh great, so we don't get the third one. It's like, no, that was a blessing in disguise that we didn't have the third one.
Oh yeah. It's really funny because we just watched The Dead Meat for that. And normally James A. Janice will be pretty even keeled when talking about a movie. He'll just tell you the facts. Dude was shitting on that movie the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
really
time.
bad. It's really bad.
I cannot wait for him to do this one because let's be honest, this is almost worse.
Yeah. So the movie itself, let's divide this into separate chunks because there are a lot to talk about, or should I say, a lot to complain about. So let's start off.
We liked the originals.
Yes, the first 2
first off,
very
we should
good.
talk about.
Very good.
They were very good. They were actually really greatly told, story-wise, the twists and the way that they had the killer and everything, the way that those were portrayed in each movie was quite well done.
Yeah,
the kills were very good in both movies, very, very good, honestly.
Yeah. So
we had a Jack Black jump scare.
Let's start with the first big problem with this movie, and it's the event itself. The car going off the cliff, the thing that they did last summer. And I want to start this off. They didn't do anything. I'll start this off with a comparison. Sorry. In the first movie, the person driving the car is drunk driving the car. And they swerve as they see the figure in the road. And they hit him. They hit him. And when they go to check on the body, they see the face is all bloody, it's damaged, and he's all broken bones and shattered, and they don't feel a heartbeat or breathing or anything. Now, they make the decision to get rid of the body, so they drag it over to the dock, only for the body to lurch up back to life and grab, what was it? What did they grab? His necklace or bracelet or
They
something.
grabbed his jacket.
His No, in the old one.
Oh, in the old one, it
Oh,
was
her
yeah, it was
tiara.
his
Her
necklace.
tiara, because
Oh,
she
her
won the
tiara. Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
he grabbed that. Yeah,
Uh, and then they just push him into the water to go down into the depths. So now they like super
yeah,
can't. They can't even be just like, oh, he's still alive. It's like, well, not, we're in too deep, so we made it worse.
yeah.
Um,
They actually murdered this man.
well, they didn't because
Well,
he was the killer. But
well, they did. Well, yes, but they still their actions from their perspective, they were directly responsible for this man's death. Like
yes,
before, it was like just an accident. Now it's murder.
yeah.
Like
Now they super can't get away with it. And they make the
exactly,
pact to not tell anybody, and then that's where the movie kicks off. In this
exactly.
one, a lot of the own Isaac likes to say they didn't do anything wrong. That's not technically true, but there is a
I didn't. I'm not.
vast difference.
There is a major like
There's several
the
degrees of
the
separation here.
yeah the thing from the first one because the line is said that was said in the first one, which is it was an accident, and it was. This time it was even more of an accident than the last one was because the last one was just they are the last one was they were drunk driving. They were actively driving the car like
Right.
no, wait. No, 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 no. No, we're actually misremembering that. They weren't drunk driving because the girl was the one driving. Sarah Michelle Gellar,
No,
whatever her character's name
you're
was.
thinking
Was
of
she
the
not?
new one where it's
Was
the
she
girl.
not driving?
No, it
Because
was the dumbass, the jock
because
guy.
because they
No, you're
no
thinking
because
of
I
the
could have
new one. The
swore
new one. It's the blonde
no.
girl who's getting
It
married,
was
and they
Ray.
off her. Ray?
It was Ray in the original.
Oh, Ray was
Because
drunk
remember
in the
he's
seat or something, and
no, he wasn't drunk. The Barry was drunk out through the window. He dropped his beer on Ray. And so they were like, there's no way they're gonna believe that Ray is sober. Like
right.
he
Well,
wasn't drunk driving because
regardless,
there's
there was
beer all
alcohol
over
in the
him.
car, and they
Yeah.
hit a guy. So
Yeah, basically. It was the people messing around. But it was still an accident at that point. But this time, they weren't driving the car. They were just being drunk idiots in the road.
one guy. They had
And
parked. So
one guy was
what they had
fine.
done is they were at like a very dangerous like turn, like curve in the road where like a lot of accidents
Yeah.
happen there naturally. They parked off to the side, and they were all just standing over by the edge as much as possible, except for one guy who was really drunk and he was playing chicken out in the middle of the road with the car.
Yes.
And then they tackle him, get him out of the way, and the car goes past and is like, oh, that could have been really bad. And then another car comes and then swerves out of the way of them and then crashes into the railing. And then they all rush over and they start like pulling on the car. First of all, it was a pickup truck, right? Or wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
pickup
it was
truck.
pickup.
So what they should have done, because it was teetering off the edge, is that they should have gotten into the back to put weight on the back end, and
Yeah.
then start pulling out from there. They should have counterbalanced that. But no, what they do is they all start like rushing towards the front and start like pulling on the doors and say, "Come on, we gotta get you out. We're trying to save you." Like they
And
actually,
the doors are like pinned by the guardrail.
yeah, they're trying to save him, and the dude, the dude inside, punches his way through the glass on the window and grabs his jacket and then falls off the cliff, which
Yeah.
is also bullshit. So they were
True.
just in the middle of the road. The one guy was drunk in the middle of the road, impeding traffic, and he caused this driver to swerve and crash and fall off the ledge, which is legally, technically his fault, but there's like a degree of separation. He wasn't driving, he didn't crash, he didn't really cause the crash. He was
The
just
most you could get in trouble for with that, I believe, is like reckless. Is it reckless endangerment or something like that?
It would
It's
be reckless
what would it be?
endangerment or
It wouldn't be manslaughter. They would not. They would not slap. Only like a really ambitious lawyer would try to slap manslaughter on that.
Yeah, because it's
Like
not.
someone
It's
trying to
not.
make a
It's
thing.
not direct. It's like
Yeah,
your reckless actions resulted in someone dying. So it would be something like that to a
exactly.
lesser degree. And then at that point, nobody else had any involvement in it. Because, like, let's say, so Ray was driving and he was distracted. So them distracting him had a hand in it. Barry, like, spilling the beer all over the place and being drunk, and that also had a hand in this. And then they all helped pick up the body and walk it over there and then dump it in the river or the ocean. So, like, in the first movie, they really all did kind of have a hand in
Oh,
this. And in this one, it wasn't. Like, it was just that one
so
guy.
this would be it would be actually involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, there you go.
It wouldn't just be straight up manslaughter. It would be they would slap an involuntary manslaughter charge on that.
Yeah, so there you
Because
go. But
reckless endangerment only applies when there's risk of death or serious bodily harm. Your actions, you didn't actually harm anyone, but your actions could have led to the harm of someone. Theirs actually
Right.
did harm someone, so it would have been manslaughter. But still, like they literally say that in the movie, but again, only one of them's really at fault.
Yeah, and they kind of
And
just fuck him over and leave him anyways. Because,
they
like, when they
also
flash forward,
called the cops.
yeah, they called the cop. They tried to save him. They tried to pull the car back in. It didn't work. They went over, and then they immediately called the police and reported it in. And then they got back into the car, and then they said, "Okay, we're gonna go to the police station and tell them what happened." And then last second, they
Yeah,
just drove somewhere else and say, "Okay, we're not gonna do that. We gotta swear not to tell anybody." And that comes
yes.
in later. The problem with that is that really changes the drasticness and the effectiveness of what happened, because
Exactly.
it's not the guy who was drunk in the middle of the road who got the "I know what you did last summer" note. It was
Yeah.
his girlfriend who had nothing to do with the situation.
Yeah.
So it's like why
She got the first one, yeah.
well, because the only thing that anyone else would be, guilty of is, like, hiding evidence or not reporting it.
Well, to be fair, in the original, the one that got the I know what you did last summer note was the only one that didn't want to do anything, that wanted nothing to do with what they were doing. She was the one that received the I know what you did last
Right, well,
summer.
she was the outlier and the main character. This one was one of 5 people who had nothing to do with what happened. Like, it was literally one guy who caused this to happen. And then the killer took it out on the entire friend group for actually no reason.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something by the way, and I'm prefacing this so it gives you ample time to find the spot and possibly cut this out. But very bold of this movie to well, not really bold, but very accurate of this movie to equate have going through trauma to making someone gay.
What? Oh,
The fucking main character, like literally, we see her
completely
go
random.
through this. She's traumatized. Like we see
Right,
her
right. Okay,
traumatized.
here. Oh,
Smash cut to a
we'll
year later,
jump.
and she's fucking a chick in a stall.
Yeah, we'll jump right to that because that's what happened next. Um,
Like,
yeah. So then the next point I want to talk about is, what was her name? Stevie, or no? It was just a dude's name, Tyler, right?
Tyler is that
Yeah.
character, yes.
There is so many things wrong with this character. First of all, what just a terrible character, just like point blank. Like, there's nothing to like about this person. Second of all,
No.
I thought it was really funny because, like, when they're talking about her, like, like the friend groups, like, sitting around, like, after the first killing or whatever, and they're talking about, like, oh, there's a person in here doing this, and they start passing around a picture of her and her, like, podcast, and they're like, "Oh my god, she's so hot," and then like they show you the picture, and she looks like Dracula in drag, and like not in a good way.
uh,
It's but no, so her she's such a linchpin in the terribleness of the writing in this movie because
oh, real.
she is the second person to die, and when that happens, she is grabbed by the neck and she pulls the mask off or the hood off or the hat off or whatever, the killer, and she looks at him and she says, "You." She recognizes the killer, which,
Yes.
spoiler alert, if you for some reason care about this movie, spoiler alert, she has only met 2 people in this movie so far, because she just flew in on a flight to do a story about the town, right? So she has only met 2 people. The first one is the main character who's already there with her being chased by the villain, so it's not her. The second one
Yes.
is her boyfriend, Milo. So I thought, okay, so it's probably Milo. But other option, she's the horror expert, like the true crime expert in the town to do stuff on the story.
Yeah.
So the only other person she could possibly know is the legacy characters in that they're in the story she's covering, and
Yes.
that would be Ray and Julie, right?
Yes.
So Julie doesn't live in the state anymore, or at least in the town. She lives like so far away. She's like,
I think at this point they have established that she refuses to come back to Southport.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to Spot.
I think at this point, I don't know. The pacing in this movie is really, really weird. I have a very hard time keeping it.
Go back to Southport or not is irrelevant. The point is that she's where she is far away. Like, characters have to take
it's been established that she's
a full day's drive to get there. So she's not going to do a day trip to town every time that there's a killing. She's not going to do a day trip into town to kill somebody and then go back all the time. So it's either Milo or it's Ray. That's like literally the only 2 possibilities. And then halfway through the movie, it's about like 20 minutes after she dies, Milo gets killed. So then it's Ray.
Yeah.
And spoiler
So you already know it.
Spoiler alert, we're going to jump to the end here just for narrative structure. We'll jump around, don't worry.
Yeah.
One of the friends, Stevie, she takes off the hood and she's the killer, right? And she's like, "Yeah, I'm mad because..." It's like, why are you doing this? Because that was my friend who died in the car.
Boyfriend.
And I didn't... yeah, whatever. She cared about him. I don't think... I think they didn't really establish what they were.
It was implied. Like she cared about him a lot. She loved him or
romantically
something.
Involved, whether whatever it was. But she's like, that was my boyfriend who went off the cliff and died. And the only reason I didn't say anything is because I didn't know at the time, and I thought we were going straight to the police station. I'm like, okay. So the next day, you find out. Here's a let me paint a better scenario for you. The next day, you find out that it was your boyfriend who died, and you have information about his death, and you have a phone. And you don't just call the police anonymously or say it is, or set up something like, hey, I know something about the dead boy, but like I want a immunity or something. Do like literally 6ix9ine for him. 6ix9ine for him. You say, give me immunity. I'll give you everyone who is responsible for this. And then she could have ratted out all of her friends, and they all would have went to jail forever, and she would have got her revenge that she wanted, instead of causing this year-long plan in all this stupidness. And second of all, she went to the other people weren't really involved in any of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The the other thing is that like it's even more because you could poke a hole in what you just said, but you can't. But you could poke a hole by saying, well, it's her word against theirs, and they're like the popular kids, and she's, the the chick in rehab. Like, who's the fuck's gonna believe her? The man
The
was
guy was
holding
also
this man's jacket.
he had the jacket. He had his jacket. That's physical evidence. And B, he was also in rehab, and she would have known him the best.
Well, no, no, no. I'm more talking. Yeah, oh yeah, because they said that he like was that he stole the truck. I think is what they
Yeah, he
said.
stole the truck. He was in
Uh,
rehab. No, but yeah. So like, why should we believe the rehab chick's word over the popular kids? Like, because that guy was also in rehab, so she knows him a lot better than these random
yeah,
people, and he's got the evidence. Ergo, she has some skin in the game. Some believability, some reason to believe her, and hard evidence. They didn't bring up the
exactly.
jacket. They didn't really bring up the
No, they
jacket.
did because well, then they also have the thing where it's like, oh, because this town is no longer the fishing port it once was. It's now like a it's now like this dude, one of the main characters, his dad, they moved in and like he started buying up all the property and turned it into like I think they called it the Hamptons of North Carolina
Something
or
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah, like he made it more of an upscale area for the summer.
Yeah.
And they so like there he paid off the police or whatever to make it like seem better, I guess. Like cuz he paid the pastor whose car the guy stole. So, oh yeah, evil pastor cuz Hollywood likes doing that. And then they have like there's so many holes you can poke in this movie. The
There's just a
biggest
lot.
one that you've already brought up.
Yep.
You already brought
Where
this
this
up
is
and
all
it
going.
segues into this. There are, well, not where it's all going. There are scenes in this movie that are completely invalidated by this twist. Scenes that literally make no sense by the twist at the end of the movie with Ray
Yeah.
because you find out he's the killer.
Well, they were
And
working
okay, here,
together.
you know what? Yeah. You know what? Actually, I will talk about what you're talking about. I will get to that actually first. Yes, where it's all leading is Ray being the killer completely invalidates his character, like all the character development we've seen this man have in the previous two movies, and his reason for doing it is that they forgot about us. They need to remember. They need to learn what happened to us. And he's talking about like the massacre in 1997. Hey Ray, maybe don't kill the bitch that fucking is doing a podcast to make people remember. Like, what the fuck?
That's true. That's true. And
It's
also
so dumb.
his reasoning for, well, one of the two reasonings. He's got really stupid reasonings. One is that he really liked Stevie, and when they uh uh did her so dirty, he had to help her out. Like, what?
He
I got
What
you.
it was is he promised Stevie's dad that he'd look after her. And then she came to her with this. She came to him with this. And she's like, "Oh, they hurt, they, did this to her." And it's like,
Cool.
so
So
he
then you
does
go
see
to
her
the
as like a
police.
daughterly figure. Yeah, he does
You
see
go to
her
the
as like a
police.
daughterly figure.
You go to the police and
Yes.
say, "Hey, here's this girl I'm looking after. We need to come bring a lawyer and say, hey, we need to arrange some kind of like immunity for her, and then we'll tell you who's responsible for that boy dying, and you get them all arrested, and then she's fine." So there you go. Her
Instead
pet.
of using what happened to you in the past to just recreate it in the present, which makes
Exactly.
no sense.
Exactly. Because he, of all people, would be like, no, I've been through this twice. I will not put a new group of people under the same thing.
Exactly.
Under
And
the
they
same
try to play it
traumas.
off like he's repressed everything. and like he's
And
like just not dealing with it, which of the two of them from the last movie, Ray fucking moved on instantly. Ray was moving on from it and she was hanging on to it.
yeah, he
Like
said
from the last one.
yes, he was like
Like they
done
almost
with
broke
it
up
before
because of
they
it.
yeah. So,
And then and
well,
go ahead, say
here's
your thing.
no, here's the other problem with that is that because with his other reason is that, oh, they forgot about us. Everyone just kind of wants to wash away what happened. Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
traumatic events happen. People
exactly.
want to move on with their lives. They want to carry forward. They don't want to be stuck in their trauma for the rest of their life and let that poison the entire town. The entire town just covered in
Yeah.
a blanket of dread and like despair all the time over what happened 30 years ago.
And the other thing is like it just again, they literally did this. You want to know why? You know, you can see it. They did this solely so they could have. They turned it into a girl boss moment. That's exactly what they did because they had to make man bad, and they
They
didn't
did,
have
and
a
they did it
man
at
that
the
they
end for
already
no
established.
reason.
Yeah, it literally came out of nowhere with Ray being in this, and the reasoning behind that. Sorry, I'm getting really angry about this because I didn't notice it until like I was sitting at home thinking about how bad this movie is or how awful they handled this. There are at least two separate scenes in this movie that literally only exist to pull the wool over your eyes. Literally only exist. There are two separate scenes where Ray and Stevie are the only fucking people in the scene, and they are interacting like they aren't in on this together.
Yeah.
There is literally a scene where Stevie walks into the bar and he's like doing shit with glasses or ice or whatever, and she literally says, I didn't know about that stuff that happened to you when you were that and all that. And it's like, yes, you fucking
Yes, you
did.
did. Yes, you did.
Wait a minute. Okay, I am remembering that scene does have a point. I'm backtracking on that one solely because I remember that the very next scene is her like walking out into the thing and the other people are there. So that one I'm a little less angry about. I'm just now remembering that the rest of them were in the bar at the time. But the other one is like they're out behind the bar and it's just them. And he's telling Stevie like shit like I told your dad I would take care of you and blah 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 and all this and it's like there's zero like they paint Ray as the good guy. You know what? That scene where they're in the bar probably has the best moment in the whole movie in it. And that's where they make the joke where he's like, "You know what? I got my boat. Let's all just get the hell out of here and go to the Bahamas for the weekend." He's like, I'm not even gonna go into why that's such a bad idea. Like,
That's
because that was
funny.
a funny joke.
They
That
had
was a good
they had a
joke.
couple like decent jokes throughout the movie and that, but like it's not enough to save it. The kills were fine.
These are also
You know
they're also really these characters are retarded. I'm not
they're
even gonna say stupid.
so
They're retarded.
stupid. They're so dumb. Like
They
what
really are.
what what did Critical say? Every character in the movie is Patrick Starr.
Yes.
Yeah. I completely agree. They are like dumb as rocks, like making the stupidest decisions ever. Even down to the
And
point
this is
where
where
Julie has figured out that Ray is the other killer, and she goes to confront him with no weapon, empty-handed,
yes.
completely. When she knows, she knows that the other girl is like the new main character is in there with him, and she doesn't bring anything or grab anything.
We watched her be paranoid at her own house and grab a pair of scissors
Yeah, and then
like
get
to go and confront a noise at the front
oh
door.
my god, if the Second Amendment existed at all in this movie, it would not exist.
True.
That's fair
The other
for,
thing
that's fair for a lot of slashers because knives
True.
are scarier than guns, but still.
But there is another thing with this, and that's like they the pacing in this movie is really awful as well. because and even just the way they do things, because they have it starts with like the start of the movie wasn't horrible actually. Like it wasn't. Like I was kind of being okay with it up until they started the I Know What You Did Last Summer stuff, because you flash forward to a year from now, and it's like her bridal shower, like the main chick's bridal shower or whatever, and you find out, oh shit, it's not the guy from before.
Yeah, because
Like it's a new dude, whatever. Yeah.
the when it starts out, it's their engagement party, and then a year later, it's a bridal shower. So I'm like, okay, and then they oh, different guy she's getting married to. Like that was
Yeah.
fine,
Little quick,
but like everywhere
whatever.
else, like all the killings were happening like too fast, and like
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna get into is that so they kill the new husband guy, which makes no fucking sense because he
literally
had
did
nothing
nothing.
to do with it. Literally
Nowhere
did broke on
near.
a stray.
Well, because she
Like,
was mad at the blonde girl for some reason I don't know, um, and she wanted to make her suffer in particular, so she took away
I
the person
guess.
that she cared about.
Whatever. But anyway, so we have that. Then we have Tyler, which again makes no sense in the context that we have it.
Again,
Plus, it kind of happened out of nowhere as well. Like, and then we had after Tyler was it Milo?
I
Well,
think it was
whatever.
it
Anyway,
doesn't matter.
this shit keeps happening. They go see Ray, which so we're at a point where it's like, okay, well, since we don't know it's Stevie yet, okay, this is kind of making sense. He's fucking with them, like trying to mess with their lives, getting into their heads, whatever. Okay. And then they have a scene where they end up going back to uh like something happens and they're all freaking out. Oh, they split up. I remember. They went to the main chick and her ex-boyfriend went to the cemetery. Or not the main chick, the chick that was getting
The
married. I
blonde
forget.
chick,
I
yeah.
literally don't know a single character's name. The only one I remember is Terry. Right? It was Terry?
Teddy.
Was his name?
It's
Teddy.
Teddy.
Teddy. Whatever. I got close. Uh, but Teddy and the blonde chick, they go to the cemetery, and they're dumb as rocks there too. My God, holy fuck! But they have an encounter with the killer, and it's all very traumatic and all that shit. And they all meet back up at Teddy's house, or no, not Teddy's house, the blonde chick's house. And like Teddy and the blonde chick are like cuddling in her bed,
Yeah.
which is crazy considering the fact that her fiance died fucking 3 days ago. Not even.
Well, he's the rebound, you know.
Well, whatever. It's
It's
whatever. But then they cut to the other chick and Milo, and they're just having like this small, like literally like 2 minute conversation for a second, and they just like look at each other, and then they start fucking.
yeah, it just smash
Like they
cuts to
start
like
like
five
it just
minutes later when they're fucking.
and then like because they had it earlier in the movie where apparently she has a punish me fetish now because
Okay.
she feels like she deserves to be punished, and that freaks Milo out because she starts doing that, and so this dude who knows there's a fucking killer after them walks alone outside to his car, comes back, sees that the front door doesn't open anymore, and immediately just casually walks back like around the house to the window of the room where they were in, and doesn't like start knocking on the door or anything, just says her name. And then the killer comes out of nowhere and like strangles him and like kills him
Yeah.
and drags him off. And it's like that death, by the way, happens so quick and so out of nowhere. Like these guys are idiots. Like there's another scene not
'cause
too
you
long
know,
after this where
and
Teddy gets
that
Teddy gets
immediate
the
point,
"your next"
and that
message.
immediate point where he like grabs him by the neck and kills him, you just know, okay, it's Ray then. Ray's the killer. There's
Yeah, it has to be
literally
Ray.
no other
Yeah.
possibility.
Exactly.
There's
Like
there's
they even
a
try to
lot-
do the fake out. They even try to do the fake out when you discover that, when you have that, when
Yeah.
they present Stevie as the killer.
And then it's
But
like, okay,
like,
that doesn't
there's
make
even
any
a
fucking
moment not
sense.
too long after that
It's
where Teddy gets like the "You're next" message in the gym kind of thing, and the next scene you see him in, he's not with the rest of the group or holed up in his house. He is sitting openly on a dock drinking beer.
yeah. We don't
And
need to.
then
We don't need.
like it's so they're fucking idiots. They really are. Like that scene where Teddy dies is probably the only like the next most entertaining moment of the film.
Really, the
It's
only
cuz
point I
like
like it is because like they do something that like no other slasher movie ever does is Teddy fucking fights back. He is a big
yeah.
stacked
Woo!
jock. He punches the shit out of the killer in the face like twice, like whole hard, decks him straight in the nose. And then throughout the movie, like nobody has a broken nose after that. Nobody's got a bruise anywhere. Nobody's got any damage to their face despite getting decked in the face by the most yoked guy in the movie twice,
True.
and they got nothing on him. It's
Also,
really stupid.
the other thing, Ray's an idiot because the only reason why this chick figured out that Ray was the bad guy was because he was wearing short sleeves when he
Yeah.
had a bandage on his arm from when he cut her. Like this movie just takes so many like bad creative. They took what was already a good original premise and they shat on it.
Yeah, because
They just absolutely
Ray was such a beloved character in the franchise, and especially after the second movie where he sold his engagement ring, at a gunpoint, stole a boat to go drive through a tropical hurricane to go save his girlfriend from a serial killer, show up, put 6 holes in the man, and finally put the killer to death. Only to just only to just turn him into the next killer for like the 2 stupidest dumb he-who brain reasons possible. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
We've been spending way too much time on this one. We can honestly
movie
go on for another
really
hour.
bad.
We gotta get on to the next movie. We got 2 more to talk about here.
True.
Let's head on into the rankings. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10. It's so stupid. It's so bad. There's like maybe a single handful, like 5 things entirely to enjoy about this movie. And, you know, I even struggle to think of a third one at the moment. But it's just so disrespectful to the franchise, disrespectful to the fans who enjoyed the original movies. And it's disrespectful to Ray. I mean, goddamn. It's not fair. This is bullshit.
True.
With a terrible, terrible ending.
Exactly. I'm also giving this movie a 3 out of 10. Like, this was extremely disrespectful to it. And especially having just experienced the original movies for the first time, I was actually kind of stoked for this.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would be kind of cool.
And that's how you know
like
it's
the trailers
genuine,
made it seem really
that's
good.
how you know it's genuine. We're not like nostalgia baked in. We haven't seen these movies or grew up with these movies or like watched them a bunch of times. We watched them 2 days before we watched the new one. And we found ourselves like really liking the original ones. Like I liked how it was like the killer wasn't one of the people that you've known. Like they slowly put the pieces together and find out, oh my god, that's the father of the girlfriend of the guy who we thought we killed. Like it made sense. Like it was a perfect follow line, and you're like, okay,
They caught the tail end of
the logic there.
Yeah, they caught the tail end of him. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, like you said, the tail end. Like they like it wasn't just what happened. Like there was more going on that night. The story was deeper than just what the friends had stumbled upon to that night. Like they.
Granted, the second one was more of a like revenge plot
it was a continuation
from the same guy.
Of that. And the fact that it's the same killer as the last movie was also like pretty unique. Like they not a whole lot of slasher movies where the killer's identity is a mystery. Because I mean, obviously, you have like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, like those are gonna have the same killers every single time. But like when it's a who is it behind the mask kind of thing, it's not gonna be the same guy again next time. And
Yeah,
I think
honestly,
it played out very well.
if they this movie is very interesting in the sense that like it almost like granted there isn't as many, but there is almost a like ghost face type thing with the killers
Yeah,
in this one.
it gets compared to Scream a lot.
Yeah, because like anyone could be in the slicker kind of thing, and it's like that.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
and that made much more sense in the original movies because it was a fishing town. Half the
yeah,
population owned a slicker.
exactly. Like there was even scenes where they were like trying to find him, like catch him, like stalking them, and they're like literally
Just
looking all
regular
over the place. There's
guys.
just dudes in, yeah, there's just regular dudes. Um, I, yeah,
Yeah,
this
very
was just
disappointing.
really, yeah, very, very disappointing.
Squandered.
I'm very sad. I am very sad that Freddie Prinze Jr. decided to be in this.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't deserve that, man. You didn't deserve that. All
No,
right.
he did not.
Moving on to our next movie, we have The Home, starring Pete Davidson of all people. Isaac, take us away.
Max begins working at a retirement home and discovers that both residents and staff are concealing dark secrets. His job reveals unexpected dangers.
Nice. So again, this is also going to contain spoilers because there's just a lot to talk about, and that's where a bunch of the highlights are going to be. So, right out of the gate, I gotta give the movie props because I ended up enjoying a movie starring Pete Davidson as the main role, and by the end, I actually really liked the character.
And since we already gave the spoiler alert, shockingly enough, Pete Davidson is in a movie that he doesn't die in.
Yeah, that's true. So, I I really like this movie. I'm coming out the gate to say it.
No,
Like
this
I
movie
thought
was
I thought
this
this was
movie
pretty
was
good.
good. I really liked it.
So he gets assigned by a court to work at the elderly home, and there's you can't go on the fourth floor because they are special patients with special needs in that, and
Yes.
he goes up there anyways because of course, and he sees all these old people in wheelchairs hooked up to like machines or tubes or whatever, and they're just sat in front of TV with the same droning thing happening on, and he gets spotted by one of the guys, and the old guy starts like freaking out and like getting at him, right? And then he
Yeah.
has nightmares about that guy, and like he's like the main one up there. There's a bunch of people in the old room, but there's one guy up there who's like kind of stuck in his mind and keeps seeing him
Yeah.
everywhere. I really liked all the actors for the old people. I think they all did their job very, very well. And
When you say the old people, are you referring
the
to the
regular
other
ones, like
residents?
the residents, yeah. Like
Residents. Yes.
the
Okay.
lady that he
Uh
was getting friends with, she was very good. The old like theater guy, he was really good as well.
I actually really liked that he to see him in this
He
because
was in Smallville.
you're he was in Smallville, and he was actually one of my favorite parts of Smallville. He was a very good because he played Lionel Luthor.
Yeah.
He played Lex Luthor's dad, and he was very good at that role. And he did a very good job. Like he's a very good actor, and I wish I saw him in more stuff because he
Well,
can
you saw
play
him in
that
this.
like
You saw him in this.
I did, and I was happy to see him. Like he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
Uh
So, um, what's being portrayed as happening? Okay. So I will kind of jump towards the end a little bit here. The residents of the home are tricking Max, Pete Davidson.
yes.
Like everything
They're
that
fucking with him.
they're fucking with him, and I will get to why later.
Yeah.
But everything, like all the clues that he's finding, all the people who die, it's all
All the
planted.
dots he's connecting.
All the dots he's connecting, all the like, oh, they're running government experiments up on the fourth floor and doing
Like he
something to
even
these
catches
people.
them like he even catches them at one point like wheeling one of the residents downstairs and like hears like screams from the
Yeah,
room that
like
they
he's
take them
sneaking
into and
around at
stuff like
night,
that.
looking in, picking locks into places he shouldn't be, and like trying to figure out what's going on in this scene. Not
Like
only
there
did
is
they
the one
totally fool him, but they got me. Okay? Like I was
yeah.
completely bought into this, like completely trying to like figure out what's going on as well. And then they reveal it was all an elaborate setup. It was all made up. None of that was real. Every single person you've been interacting with is an actor. We're all in on this together against you, and this has all been a trap from the beginning. That was a
Mo-
very interesting twist, and
yeah.
I loved how they pulled that one off.
More than that is that he gets a reveal in that moment that like while he's figuring all that out is that the people who adopted him as a child and have raised him, they are his mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
They they have been in on this for years. His whole life they've known about this and they've been a part of this.
Yes,
And they like that was a fucked realization.
it was. Yeah, when he
Like
went into the
because
the room, the secret room, because what it is it is a cult of people who have discovered that there's a gland behind your eye that when the juices are drank, it gives you eternal life and eternal youth and vitality and this, that, and the other thing.
yeah.
So what they have been doing the whole time is that they've been sending their adopted children, and probably not just the
Foster
parents.
children.
Well, foster, adopted, either
Yeah.
or, both. And it's not just Pete Davidson's parents, it's probably like a lot of other people as well. They have been sending their children to work there, and then they have been extracting that in their sleep. And then when they've taken enough, they throw this big party for them. They dress up the person all nice, drug him, and then they take as much as they can out of his eye, and then they send him up to the fourth floor to be a rotting vegetable old man forever.
That they well, not only that, that they continuously use to take more
Yeah,
from.
yeah, and the cycle
It
continues. It goes to more and more people. Pete Davidson escapes the home, runs back to his house, unbeknownst that his parents are in on it, only to find that they had fostered two more girls, like two sisters, like
yeah.
readying the next batch. And once you get the reveal, he's looking through the photo album, noticing that all these people look exactly the same 30 years ago as they do right now, and he's seeing like person after person after person in the suit, in the wheelchair, and he turns the last page and he sees his brother, his older brother, who died supposedly in the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie. Like, oh, there was an accident, or he took his life, he killed himself, and he didn't understand
Something
why
like that,
that
yeah.
would happen, and he was so crushed by that, and that's been just weighing on him the whole time. So he runs back to the home, and he goes up to the fourth floor, and the creepy old man who's been banging on the windows and like lashing at him and grabbing at him and been terrorizing his nightmares the whole time is his brother, his older brother that they had taken years ago and done this to. And I thought
Because
I
like
thought that was a fantastic reveal. I hadn't even considered that.
yeah, no, that was fucking phenomenally well done. I loved everything that they did. Like the fact of the matter is that this movie literally did the fastest one of the fastest bait and switches I have ever seen in a movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so well done because it shows you this thing and it spends the entire movie building up this thing only to just like Indiana Jones swap it out at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not in a cheap way.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
literally
like,
just
oh,
saying that.
it's not like, oh, the rest of the movie doesn't fucking matter because we were lying the whole time. Haha, got you. Like, you just wasted my time and now it's about something different. It's like, no, like, you
No.
watched the movie. It's been slowly building up to this the whole
It's
time.
meant it's meant to be it's meant to be like they were tricking Max, but like you said, at the same time they're tricking you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's the best part. And the reason why they are fucking with him is that they're old. Like
They're
they've lived
old.
for hundreds of well, what I mean
A
is
lot
like
of them
they've
are like
lived for over a
120,
hundred.
160, I think one
Yeah.
of them
So
was.
they're like, we need entertainment. So they made all this up just to fuck with him and watch him go through all this and struggle and all these different things. And to watch him like basically lose his mind over this.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even crazier is there are some of like the younger people, like the people that are younger than the older ones, like the ones that look older,
Yeah.
because they start saying their ages, and some of them are way older than the other. Like one of them says he's like 180, and the others say they're like 120 or something like that. So like there was like a time for a while where they were just recruiting these people,
Yeah.
like as 100 years ago, but they've just been recruiting them, and they've just been keep on doing this, and it's like a fucked realization. And it even gets to a point where they have him. Like they're doing this whole review because they have him. They're telling him what's going because they're like, you're never leaving this
Yeah,
place.
when they tell
Like
him
we're
how
gonna
when they tell him how old they all really are and like started breaking it down for him, they've got him strapped to a wheelchair and unable to move, and then they transfer him to like a doctor's table and it's like, we're doing the extraction right now while you're awake. We're going to take
yeah.
out a lot. And then when you wake up, you're
They
going to
do
feel like
start
a
like all fucking at this moment,
yeah,
which was a little weird.
we're not relevant at the moment.
Yeah, fair.
um
Anyway,
and they say when you wake up you're gonna feel like 100-year-old man and have the like strength of one. Like, you're not gonna have the will and strength to even stand to stop us
yeah.
at all. And he does. He wakes up and he's like completely drained, and he's just in the wheelchair, can't even move. And this is the best moment when you get this. His brother, the old guy, his older brother, starts going around the room to all the other well, not old, but like the drained people, the people that they're leeching off of, and stabs them in the part in their eye and then tips them forward and collects all that like secretion in a jar, and he goes around to everyone and grabs at that, and then he stabs himself and dips it in there, and they all come together and they give it to Pete Davidson to drink so they all like gave him their life and vitality and strength. And then we get the most fuck yeah ending to a horror
Yes.
movie I've ever seen, where Pete Davidson at full strength, like with the fountain of youth coursing through his veins,
Yeah.
grabs any weapon he can find and just starts butchering everybody in the home one after another. And it's just
Yes.
so validated, so satisfying, and the only regret that he has is that he didn't get the satisfaction of killing his foster parents himself. The metal siding on the roof slid down and then like just chopped him in half against their car. That would have been so satisfying to get them, because they were the ones feeding children to this thing, fostering more children just to feed into this, robbing them of their life and soul. They're the ones who deserve that the most.
I have never thought seen Pete Davidson as intimidating ever in my life. This movie proved that kid can act. Like he actually can act.
Yeah.
Like he actually can do good.
Supposedly the scriptwriter wrote this movie with Pete Davidson in mind. He wrote it for him to play the role of Max.
which is really cool. I actually like
Yeah.
that.
And then
I
at
would
the
love to
end,
see more
yeah.
of this
And
with him.
and at the end, he goes back up to the fourth floor, and and they all walk out together. Him and his brother on his shoulder, and then all the other drain people walk out, and it's happily ever after, for as long as they can live after that fact. But no, I thought that was really, really, really good.
Yeah. No, this movie was very well done. All of the scenes, like all of the scenes were done very well. Like him kind of like having dreams a lot and kind of hallucinating. And what's even better is this movie really plays into the creepy old people thing.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
it's just like, oh, it's
what a
just like
great
they're
year for
experimenting on a.
what a great year for retirement home horror.
Yeah, I mean, I can only think of Rule of Jenny Penn
That's
along with this.
they're 2 for 2, my guy.
True, this was a very very good movie. Like very good movie in the sense of like I loved all the twists and everything that
Mm,
happened in this movie. I don't know how well this movie is in the rewatchability sense because of the bait and switch.
yeah, I think
Like like
the twists and the reveals are a big part of my enjoyment of them.
yeah. Like this isn't a watch it again. This is a show a friend
Yeah,
type movie where you show them and you watch them like figure that stuff out. I mean, you could watch it maybe like once more to try and like
like
see
piece
how you
together
knowing
things that
the thing.
you know
Yeah,
now.
like seeing how yeah, you can do that with any movie that has a twist ending.
Yeah,
It's like now that we have this, oh okay, this makes sense and that makes sense and this happens and that happens and it's like, oh, okay. But this was just phenomenally well put together. It really was. And shockingly enough, again, Pete Davidson, like I walked out of the theater and I went, I don't think I never thought I'd say this, but I want to see Pete Davidson in more stuff. Like this movie made me like Pete Davidson, and I
that's
that's a
saying
tall
something
order,
because you don't
honestly.
care that much for Pete Davidson.
No, I did not
The
care for Pete
human
Davidson.
cigarette.
Real.
All right, moving on to
Uh
the
Plug
rankings.
us into rankings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a very strong, putting it at the top of my eights. 8 out of 10 is
Really?
yeah. I thought this was very good, very enjoyable, and I liked all the twists and turns that it took. All the reveals, uh, kind of came out of nowhere for me in the way where I didn't see them coming. So as they were revealed, I was surprised and shocked to see them, uh, paid off very well for me. And then I just love that ending. I think that's one of the many greatest endings to a horror movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm also going to give this movie an 8. It's not going to be at the top of my eights, but I am giving this an 8. It was very very good. I very much enjoyed the directions that they took to get to where they needed to be and the way the rug just kind of gets pulled out from under you. And shockingly enough also just how well like how much you actually follow along with Pete Davidson's character.
Yeah,
Like it's very well put together that way.
I agree. I agree. All right. Moving on to the last movie of the night, we have the long awaited Together. Isaac, take us away, please.
Oh shoot. There we go. I misclicked. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads when they move to the countryside, abandoning all that is familiar in their lives except each other. With tensions already flaring, a nightmarish encounter with a mysterious, unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh.
Nice. Now, I want to preface this by saying that
Beautiful, By the way, beautiful fucking synopsis of this movie.
That's true.
Like, actually beautiful.
True. I want to preface this by saying and I'm assuming you as well, Isaac, am a big fan of body horror. I think
Oh, yes, absolutely.
David Cronenberg, one of the greats. Um, and The Thing, the original, or not the original, but
He's a big orange thing covered in rocks.
shut up. The Thing with Kurt Russell, I think from the 1970s, I think is one of the greatest movies for special effects. I think the practical effects in that movie will stand the test of time forever. I think it still looks amazing to this day, 50 years later.
Still have to watch it.
Isaac still hasn't seen it because he's insane, but I think it is a phenomenal movie with phenomenal effects, and I think that it is just fantastic. So this was right up my alley, especially with the concept of two whole people being bit by bit merged together and like stuffed into a single
Yeah.
entity, or like
So,
trying to fuse together, is an insane
yeah, so
concept.
we only saw the first trailer for this movie,
Yeah.
and we are so happy we did. We avoided the second one like the plague. And if we had watched the second one, it would have totally ruined a lot of this movie. It really
Oh,
would have.
yeah.
This movie is best gone into only knowing about like you can piece together from like the posters and the things that it's like something's happening that's trying to like fuse these two together.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all you need to know about this movie. And if you go into it with that, it is so fucking horrific. Like the biggest thing about this movie that it would have been ruined if we had seen the second trailer. Kellen has said this. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you say the thing.
This movie has what is probably the scariest Chekhov's gun I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Because knowing that this movie is about two people who are being fused together in some way, about 15 minutes into the movie, as they're unpacking things as they move into their new home, he pulls out a Sawzall.
Yeah.
The electric saw gun. You pull the trigger, and the saw
And it
blade
like
just
vibrates
back and forth. And you know exactly what that's going to be used for later.
Yes, exactly.
Just seeing that, he pulled that out of the box, and you're like, "Oh, you see this? I cut a lot of stuff with it." I just went, in my chair, I went, "Oh, oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no."
I did that too. I'm just like, oh. It ended up not being as bad as it could have
They
possibly
did cut
been.
away from a lot of it and just like jump cut.
Well, I'm not
but
even talking
still,
about cutting away from it, but like, because the scene where I realized it was about to come up, before where like it does cut, because it does cut to them being like stuck together by just like a piece of skin between their arms.
Yeah.
Uh, but the scene before that, we saw their hands literally fuse together.
Yeah.
Still, and like I'm sitting here like, oh fuck, they're just gonna cut right through there. Ah,
Yeah.
like no, that's not what it ended up being. But this movie has such good pacing and such good like moments of like like horror. Like the horror in this movie is fucking A tier, S tier. Honestly, it's so fucking good. Like I really want to go into actual details about this, by the way, and I almost don't want to because, like, I kind of don't want to because this movie is just great. The movie is awesome. We've already said too much with the Sawzall. We really have. Like,
So, here, I'll say
this-
this. This is going to be the official barrier, you guys. We will get into spoilers after this, but we hard encourage you to go into this movie as blind as possible, you know, aside from the things that we've just said. but you really, really, really should just see this movie because it is just it is best experienced fresh and without all
Yes.
these spoilers and that. So we are warning you one final time, if you haven't seen it, just jump right now to the rankings. We won't reveal anything further in the
Yes.
rankings, but please, please, please go see this movie. It's so good. Now that you're still here, Isaac, go ahead.
This movie has some of the craziest fucking like moments I have watched in a movie in a while. Like the oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, honestly. Like it's really hard to find where I'm going to start with this cuz so what ends up happening is there's kind of like a they're together, but like you can tell right away they do a very good job of setting up that they don't really want to separate because it's just their relationship. It's just the way it's been.
Yeah.
Like they don't remember life without the other person. They very much set that up. And like them moving is like a big like step that is like you can tell they're not really gelling
Yeah.
anymore. But they're both trying desperately to hang on to this relationship. It actually is more is less of what I thought it was, because what I thought this was going to be about is a toxic codependent relationship, but in reality it's a relationship that is pretty much already run its course, like but is
Well,
like
they have
they
the
don't know how.
codependency. They don't mean it like it's like, oh, I really, really need you. It's this like he can't drive, so he needs her to do that, and then she can't cook, so she needs him for that. So there's
Well, they
they
have
each
that.
have different parts of themselves that it's like, oh, I just can't do this, so I need you in my
I
life
can't
because you're the one who
imagine.
does that.
Yeah, I can't imagine my life without you is what they say. Like I don't remember life without you,
Yeah,
they say. So it's like you're just a part of my life.
which then leads into like towards the ending where they say like, oh, I don't remember my life without you, and the guy, Dave Franco, he says like, I do remember my life without you, and I remember how much worse it was. Like I am better off
Yeah.
with you, and I love you, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
really good actually. But
That is a
like,
really good line. But like what I really like about this movie, here's a coherent thought actually about this movie that
yeah,
I will finally get out. I love the premise and the thing that is happening in this movie where it is two people who are rejecting each other, but something is happening to them that is causing their bodies to want to be a whole organism.
yeah,
So it is there is a force that is trying to merge them together while they themselves are pushing each other away from me. Like
and
they're kind of pushing each
when
other
he
away.
says force, he means like they are in two separate bedrooms on the ends of the hallway, and they wake up being dragged magnetically across the floor towards each other.
Their bodies are like contorting to try and like just fair like just wildly. Like there's a part where like she's like literally like they're not even like their bodies are crawling across the floor. They are literally like sliding across the floor towards each other.
Yeah.
Their bodies yearn to be whole. It is a they the thing that happens causes them to like their bodies want to be a whole organism. They are now two parts of a single thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they want, and that's what it wants to be. It's crazy to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the the other thing that happens with this is that because it was the one thing that kind of confused me, and you brought it up to me, is that one thing that was weird is that it starts with him. He is the only one that's kind of being drawn to her.
Yeah. She doesn't
Like
experience the effects at first.
granted, it's still like they're it's like he's trying to absorb into her, but like she doesn't really have any, at least not as strongly as he does.
Not at all.
Because what it is they find a cave, and in this cave, like they're cold and they're wet and they're trying, they're just trying to find shelter from the rain. And they literally stumble into this cave. And they find this like thing of water. They find like a pool of water, and he drinks from it. And I guess she didn't. I thought she did,
She
and that's
didn't.
why I was confused. But she did not. But he drinks from it, and like the next morning they wake up next to each other, and like he has to peel his leg off of her, and like they even show that there's like a visible scar on their legs from where they pulled apart.
Yeah.
And like throughout the rest of the like until it starts really ramping up to when she starts being pulled towards him, uh like there's moments where they're kiss he has these moments where he's like drawn to her, because a big thing that they make a big thing about, like one thing they make a big thing about, is that they aren't really intimate anymore. They're not really like, they don't have sex anymore, basically. Like he doesn't seem like physically attracted to her, which I never understood that archetype, by the way, that thing in a relationship where the guy just doesn't isn't interested in the woman. Like I don't understand that. I never have. But anyway, uh but so like, he's like, I need you right now. I want you. Like I yearn to be with you, and I need you. And I like there's a part where they're kissing and making out, and when they like pull away, their like lips stick together. She's like, "Did you just bite me? What the hell?" And like ruins the moment and
Yeah.
all that. And like they wake up in the middle of the night, and he's like fucking choking on her hair, which was fucking gross and fucked, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Cause
god.
she like switches the light on and it's right there, and he looks like a dead fish, like just
It's like,
staring, like
and
eyes
it's
wide
just like,
open.
yeah, and it's like he's like, and she's like, what the fuck? And there's another moment where he's supposed to be leaving town, and like he just has like that moment of like his head is like, which they I think diagnose as like an anxiety thing is what it was, I think, and they gave him muscle relaxers
Yeah.
to stop it from happening. But anyway, he gets pulled to her at her job, which she works as a teacher. She's a teacher to children,
Yeah.
and like they end up having sex in the bathroom stall, which is the first time they've had sex in who knows how long, whatever. And it's like this moment where it's like, oh, they're coming together, and it's played as like this nice moment, kind of like in the movie, like the music swells
But
and
you can
like
see where it's
fades
going.
out.
You can see where
Yeah,
this is
and
going.
they go to separate, and he can't get his dick out. And unless you would like me to phrase that differently, but he can't
Nope.
pull away from her, basically.
It literally comes to the point where she puts her hand over his mouth and says, "I'm sorry," and just push. And then they're both just like,
And he's literally like, you can see
he's
agony in his eyes.
crying.
There's blood.
There is blood. They are both bleeding from
Like
this.
like like it is wild. And she's also like taking all of this as like him being, I don't really understand her stance on it a little bit.
She doesn't understand the stance on it. She just
Yeah.
this her boyfriend's acting weird. That's the her stance.
Yeah. I guess. And like she's mad at him. Like I guess she's mad at him because they got caught, kind of thing. Like she wasn't mad at him until they got caught, by the way. Until things went wrong. But like there's all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know what's happening to me. Like I feel like there's this magnetic force trying to get, like he's like literally sounding crazy to
Yeah.
her. And she's freaking out, and she goes to apologize to this teacher that caught them. It's like, I'm sorry about what happened and all that and
Yeah,
everything, and
because
like things are
he's their
weird between
neighbor.
us. Yeah, he's their neighbor, and I'm sorry for this. And like after she goes and sees him, like they kind of have this weird like fight or whatever. And then so she goes off to bed. Like she goes to bed without him. Like cuz he goes up to check on her. It's like, "Hey babe, you ready for bed?" And she's already in bed. And he's like, and so he goes downstairs and he's like, I forgot to mention there's another thing in this movie where a couple has already vanished. Like they've disappeared.
Yeah,
And so he starts
pair of
looking into
hikers.
it and he starts looking into it and he realizes like, wait, like this area they're in is very like like it looks familiar, and he starts seeing like there are these bells that they were following that ended up leading them to this cave, and he sees one in the background. He's like, what the fuck? And while he's doing that, he starts to hear like this like sound from upstairs, and like this tumbling or whatever. And oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this moment because it was actually like really freaky, like like it really was. And he sees her on the other side of the glass, like her face like pressed against it,
Yeah.
and like she starts like and he's like, what the fuck? And he's realizing that she's like mimicking him like he was earlier in the movie, and she's like literally sliding up the glass. There's like blood on it, and she's like vibrating against the glass, and he's just
Like
like
he
literally
stands up on his tiptoes and she comes off the ground pressed up against the
yeah.
glass. It's crazy.
Like this movie
We
has
don't
so many moments
Yeah,
where
we don't need
like
to take it scene by scene, but
I'm sorry, I
there's
really
just so
want to because
many
this
good
like just
scenes
thinking
though.
about it, it's so good. I have to say my favorite moment of levity in this entire movie, and it came at a perfect moment because there's the scene where like there's a horrific scene that we go through where they are being pulled towards each other down a hallway,
Hmm.
and they like take the muscle relaxers to stop their bodies from like being like taking over. That's basically what it is when the brain goes to sleep, the body takes over.
Yeah.
And that's when they like are pulled towards each other a lot stronger. And it eventually gets to a point where they just can't stop it at all. But they take the muscle relaxers to kind of keep themselves from being
Yeah,
pulled
yeah.
towards each other. And it's literally a moment where their hands are like fusing together and they're like pulling each other apart. And then we get to the scene that we talked about earlier where they're like held together by the skin on their arms, and they cut themselves apart with the sawzall. And and then it immediately after that scene, like it's literally like, okay, they're cutting each other apart. And then it cuts to them sitting on opposite ends of the kitchen, and their arms are wrapped up, and they're both just like snacking on something, and they're just like wordlessly like he goes to offer her a snack, and she literally like holds something up, and she's just like, no, I got it. It's just like that non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that. It was such a good like moment to bring like a break to it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Um
uh
so I
I'm
want
gonna
to
let you take over
yeah,
some
I want to
stuff.
I want to talk about like the only two things that I didn't like about the movie really is so they set up this like this deadline, like this looming thing where her parents are coming over for lunch on Sunday. So
Yeah.
we like this kind of race against the clock. We have to figure this out before then. And what what they end up at the end of the movie again, last warning before ultimate spoilers the ending. What they ended up deciding to do is they made peace with each other. They said their I love yous, and they decided to fully join together and
Accept
just
it.
accept it and let it happen. Um, as they are embracing each other, they start to combine and fuse, and all the like detailed close-up shots look really good. Like there's a scene where his arm is on her back and his fingers like go underneath her shoulder blade and it pops out and it looks super gross and super good. But then you get a zoom out shot and it's just all like a big CGI mess of them all just like cobbled and mixed together, and it doesn't look great. But I
No.
get it. I get it. It's the more of the concept of
Which
what's happening than how good it really looks.
It did kind of suck about that though, because up until that point, all the CG was fucking phenomenal. Like the when they're actually like merging their hands together
Yeah,
and all that,
that
and
looked
even the
good.
scene you just talked about, where he's like, where they just start merging together. And at this point, by the way, like his arm is inside her back,
Yeah, like the entire arm
because
in their back, they are like, and their eyelashes, like they're so close, their
they
eyelashes
stripped
and
down.
eyeballs are
Yeah.
fusing together like that.
Like they stripped down naked to like come together and they're like
Right.
making out and they're just like accepting each other. And like that all looked great. Only that zoom out shot looked
Yeah,
bad.
when they're trying to
Like
do
that's the
like
one
so
moment of
much,
bad.
when they're doing so much at once, it looks really bad. So then that cuts to black, and then the other part that I really didn't like is that it's the parents show up with a little like casserole in a dish or whatever. They come over for the lunch. They ring the bell, and
Well,
they were
so you actually okay, well I want to state something
go ahead.
actually before you get to this point. What they had it didn't just cut to black. What had happened is it you saw the zoom out shot. It panned over to the kitchen to where you saw like the bloody mess and all that. And then it panned back to the living room where they were and like the furniture was back in place. All it like everything looked like not there was no evidence of what had happened before. And then it cuts back to the kitchen and there's like a setup like plates and all that.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the front door and you see the parents pull up. And it's like, okay, so you have now established that they aren't like a horrific mess or something. Like they've managed to come together and have this
Yeah.
like they cleaned up.
Yes.
So at least you know, okay, things worked out. Anyway, continue.
So and they ring the bell for the doorbell. And then you hear footsteps coming towards the door. So here they it he she comes. And then they open the door, and it's just some frumpy Ellen Page looking lesbian. And then it says, "Oh hi," in like the manliest voice possible. Um, what really should have happened was the door should have opened, it cut to black, and then you get like the mom screaming or something, and then it ends, or something, or just have the door open and cut to black. Don't show us what they turn into. I feel like that was a kind of a disappointment, just being like just like a really basic looking lesbian woman answer the door. Like I think that was a real anticlimactic. Like I think it would be best left to the imagination as what a combination of the two of them looked like, cuz I even had in my mind like a split down the middle, like him on one side, her on the other side, or if they were like still this monster of mishmash organs and pieces and bones and stuff, but they still managed to, get their house in order and live their life, anyway, just because they loved each other so much. Or just imagine it as whatever kind of person you like it's one of those moments where your imagination is better than what they show you. And I wish that they wouldn't have shown us that.
Yeah, so I do have to say because you bringing that up reminded me of something I meant to look up before the podcast, and I was kind of looking it up just now. So what that actually was, it wasn't someone they didn't something that I actually am going to applaud them on, and that might be divisive. They didn't just hire some like trans to play that. That was actually Allison Brie. That final thing was Allison Brie wearing a wig and like prosthetics, and there was slight visual effects to make an androgynous appearance.
Hmm.
But it was just that, like, and that's I like that. I like that they didn't just hire some like trans person to do that, because then
So
that would have completely kind of would have ruined the movie for me, honestly.
it's
Like I was nervous looking that up because it's like, oh well, now you've
because
tainted this movie with something.
you can kind of see like in the face, you could see like bits and pieces of both of them. Like, granted,
Yeah.
it does look like both of them mixed together, but I just feel like my imagination and the possibilities that I would come up with would be 10 times better than what you gave me. So, I mean,
Yeah,
bravo for
like
doing it practically instead of just making another CGI abomination answer the door or something. But still, like, I think it's best left not shown.
yeah. I will say I think Allison Brie and Dave Franco were fucking great picks for
Oh, they were
this. They
fantastic
actually
picks.
they were phenomenally well done. They were perfect people to play these roles. I've always liked Dave Franco. I've been a big fan of Dave Franco for a very long time.
Yeah, I've liked him
Uh
since the Disaster Artist. That was really good. He was good in
I
that.
actually haven't seen that.
You poor sap.
Uh well, you do realize I also haven't watched The Room in its entirety
How
yet
dare you?
either.
How dare
Like
you?
I've told you that.
Cinematic
But
masterpiece. 10 out of 10
I've
film.
liked him ever since I've liked him since the Now You See Me movie.
Mm.
He was a main character in those, and uh like he had a very good like comedy run. I despite how people may think about it, I actually enjoyed the Neighbors movie with Zac Efron. He was in that, and like I like he's a good like actor, and I like
He is,
him
yeah.
a lot. And it was nice to see him in something new. And I didn't really have any like opinions about Allison Brie, but like I never hated her. I didn't think she was awful. Apparently she's Unikitty in the Lego movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. But anyway, those two were very good at portraying what they needed to, especially I very much believe these two were a couple.
Yeah, yeah, they worked like that they knew each other for very long. Like they felt like they had history with each other and I got to applaud them for that.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to really bring
Not
up
really.
about this movie? Because I realized I kind of took over a lot.
No, that's fine. I kind of didn't
And
want to
like, cause
talk. I kind of didn't want to talk about the neighbor guy because that aspect of it opens up like a whole new, whole side of the movie that is again
yeah,
honestly best left to be watched
true.
on your own.
But yeah, no, this movie was fucking great. This movie on all the posters has said best horror movie of the year. And I'm inclined to agree with it. Uh, I think that's as good a segue as any to roll into the rankings here. Kellen, I'm actually gonna
Yeah.
let you go first on this.
Nice. I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. I would not be surprised at all if this remains in the top 10 for the end of the year. Like it is very very good. If you're into body horror, it's perfect for that. Like it really showcases these characters and the horrors of this crazy crazy situation that they're put into. And it's such a unique concept to have two people being magnetically pulled towards each other and attempting to be fused into one being. It's it's
Yeah,
it's so unique. The acting is amazing, and I really really love everything that they did with this movie. It's absolutely fantastic.
yeah, I am also giving this movie a very, very strong 9 out of 10. Only reason it is not a 10 out of 10 is the ending.
Yeah,
Literally the only reason. It's the only thing that keeps this from being a 10 out of 10 movie for me. Like, I, oh, hmm, this was phenomenally well done. I I can just sit and gush over it. Like
we will.
my silence on this, my inability to form a coherent thought over this movie just shows just how much this movie has impacted me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Guys, that will wrap up our podcast right then and there. Isaac, would you like to give our lovely viewers a little sneak peek at what we'll be looking at next time?
Next time we should have the new New Angel Studios movie Sketch. We will also have the Liam Neeson Naked Gun reboot. Where I'm cautiously optimistic about that movie.
Yeah.
We also have the Bad Guys 2. We're seeing it because we saw the first one. And the last one is the very much anticipated, not quite as much as Together, but very anticipated.
Definitely as much as Together.
Okay, for you, like I was really in for Together, but the new Weapons. That is another movie that we have been well, we haven't avoided the trailers for that because the trailers are actually quite
Muted.
on the DL. I
Yeah.
like that.
Don't
I
actually
think that's
get
good, but
too much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please subscribe because it really helps us a channel and it keeps us going back to the theaters and bring these videos back here to you. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap.
roll credits.